Hi, welcome to the Daily Record High School Football Insider. I'm Aaron Dorksen, along with Mike Plant. We're back for our second week of a video preview of the area games this week.
Yeah, Aaron, we're in week 2 and we're rolling here. Feeling a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. But before we move on to this Friday night's action, let's take a quick look back at last week when both of us came back from our games really raving about the performance we'd just seen.
Yeah, we talked last week about how Orrville and Norwayne were two of the best teams in the area and they did nothing to disappoint. I covered Orrville defeating Lexington 35-12 as Mason Monheim ran wild on offense, scored a touchdown defense. Mike, this kid is so tough. He throws horseshoes. They're still attached to the horse, I think.
Yeah, and I had a chance to see Wayne County's version of Tim Tebow in Norwayne's Adam Wallace, and that's if Tim Tebow would make 16 tackles on defense like Wallace did last week at Northwestern. And also the Norwayne quarterback last week, Aaron, he threw for 270 yards and ran for 108 and a couple of touchdowns in a little over half a play. So, you know, I know that Norwayne has a lot of good wide receivers. They've got the Zimmerly brothers in the backfield, but through their 4-0 start so far, when they've been out scoring over 50 points a game, Adam Wallace has really been the key to their machine.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. I wrote my Sunday column this week about the fact that Norwayne moved up a division this year into Division 4, and that there's a good chance they could play Orrville in the playoffs. Orrville has not played a Wayne County Athletic League team since 1981. Usually the WCAL is kind of considered the little brother to Orrville. It's always deep in the playoffs, but hey, it's a halfway point, but when the computer ratings came out, it backed up. They're both in the top 8, and that matchup could happen down the road.
Right. As you said, you saw Orrville and Lexington last week. Staying in the OCC, West Holmes coach Kevin Maltrich spent only 1 year at Mansfield-Madison, but got to take his Knights back there last Friday, and they were very impressive. It was a happy return for Maltrich as West Holmes got its ground game going and got a win. And if you look towards tomorrow night, Friday night, the Knights will welcome Ashland down to Millersburg for an OCC matchup of 2-0 teams, and West Holmes, Aaron, has never beaten Ashland in 8 tries.
Right, that'll be one of the games of the week, along with Waynedale versus Smithville, and we'll come back and talk about those up next.
Welcome back to the Daily Record's High School Football Insider. And Aaron, we touched on the Ohio Cardinal Conference a little bit. We didn't talk about Worcester. Last week, and we talked a little bit about Worcester's defense, and they have to rise to the occasion and stop Ashland, and that wasn't really the case as we saw last week.
Yeah, unfortunately for Worcester, they were 7-3 last year. They had very high expectations coming into this year. Ashland was their first real big game, and they lost 56-28. You know, the offense for Worcester was there again, but that defense in recent years just has not been able to get the job done in the big games. I think they'll be able to bounce back this week against Madison, a team they've traditionally owned pretty well. Last year they won 42-24. Devontae Anderson and Devin Doherty having great seasons. So, in fact, Devontae Anderson leads the area with 588 yards rushing and 14 touchdowns. So, look for the Generals to get back on track. Mike, I know Triway and Loudonville haven't been quite as successful as some of the teams, but, you know, they have big games this week, too.
Well, Loudonville started the season, Aaron, 0-3 against 3 pretty solid opponents, as we're finding out as we go on down the line. But they opened up mid-Buckeye Conference play last Friday at home by whipping Danville, which was also unbeaten and had been unscored upon going into that game. So it was a nice win for the Redbirds, who put 31 points on the board. Triway, on the other hand, lost its 4th straight game, but we saw a familiar name under center for the Titans as Parker Carmichael, the freshman brother of 2010 Daily Record Player of the Year Derek Carmichael, made his first start at quarterback and threw his first touchdown pass. So that's a name we can watch. We'll be sure to watch for the next 4 years. But the names we're watching this year belong to a lot of the Orrville Red Riders, and West Holmes off to their good start in the OCC. So, Aaron, I know the Ashland-West Holmes game is kind of an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it is an interesting matchup. I mean, it's contrasting styles. Ashland's quarterback now has over 1,200 yards passing heading into just the 5th game of the year, while West Holmes is thrown for only 198 yards. So West Holmes wants to run the ball, Ashland wants to pass. They can also run it, so the Knights kind of get the same test that Worcester had last week. That'll be down in Millersburg. We commented in today's Daily Record they do not want to see an air show in Millersburg. Sometimes those are fun to go to, but not Friday night, Mike. And then quickly back to Orville. They're going to head over to the turf at Arlen Field. Mansfield Senior had Division I running back Terrell Dorsey, who broke his leg last week. You know, the whole league felt bad to hear about that with text messaging and the internet. We knew that even in the Orville press box. But a testament to the Mansfield Tigers. They were down big against Clear Fork with their star player out. They outscored Clear Fork 22-0 in the fourth quarter, made that a one-touchdown game. So anybody that thinks the Tigers are going to lay down and Orville is going to have a walkover, you know, that's not going to be the case. So we'll take a break and come back and talk about our game of the week, Waynedale versus Smithville, up next. Well, the Wayne County Athletic League this year, Mike, is really the Big Four with Norwayne and Hillsdale playing at a very high level, and then Waynedale and Smithville, in most people's minds, right behind them. Those Big Four are 14-2, while the other four teams in the league are 0-16. So we're going to have a lot of one-sided matchups, but finally this week, Mike, we get two of the Big Four playing each other for the first time, Smithville against Waynedale. What are your thoughts on that one?
Right. A traditional county rivalry. These teams have combined for 32 Wayne County Athletic League titles over the years. And Aaron, we're going to find this Friday down in Apple Creek will be the first real big sort-out game in the WCAL this year. Two teams, they both won in major fashions last Friday in the WCAL openers. Both 3-1, and Smithville, we see another contrast of style, just like we're going to see in Millersburg with West Holmes and Ashland. These are two 3-1 teams, and Smithville and Waynedale with decidedly different styles. We talked last week, and the same thing happened last week. Smithville, old school Keith Schrock style football, which he's glad to do. They've only completed 4 passes this season, which is a good solid average of 1 a game. But their running backs. They combat with Mark Hilty, Ian Steiner, quarterback Alex Bates, Tolan Shane, all averaging at least 7 yards a carry, which is unbelievable. Find a huge offensive line. And one added thing this week I think fans might want to look for down there is the return of Tyler Buss, the Smithville speedster, who hasn't gotten too many carries this year, had a knee injury in the preseason, the fastest Smithville Smithy. So Keith Smithville will try to run the ball as they do between the tackles, but watch for Buss to try to maybe break something outside and introduce his speed into the Smithies' attack. Aaron, I know you've seen Waynedale. They kind of do things a different way.
Yeah, Waynedale, you're going to get a spread offense. They are going to put the threat of the pass there a little more. I look at them as kind of a smaller team, but they're very quick on defense. They flew to the football against Triway. You know, to me, the big key is if Smithville is going to be able to get that ground game going and have long drives, I think it could be, you know, to the Smithies' advantage, and they'd be the favorite. So can Waynedale stop that rushing attack? And then Waynedale's offense has kind of been hit or miss, maybe not quite as consistent, but it should be a great game, and good to see what will happen in the Wayne County Athletic League. When we come back, we'll take a final look at the complete area schedule up next. And let's give you a recap of what the games will be. We'll be out as many of these as possible. We're going to have in the Wayne County League, Northwestern at Chippewa, Hillsdale at Dalton, Rittman at Norwayne, and the big one, Smithville at Waynedale. We're also going to have Cloverleaf at Green, Loudonville at Johnstown, Orville at Mansfield Senior, Triway at Tuslaw, Ashland at West Holmes, and Worcester playing its homecoming game already, hosting Madison.
You can read about all those games in the Daily Record Saturday Sports Extra, and get all your sports every day of the week in the Daily Record.
Thanks for joining us again on the Daily Record High School Football Insider.
There we go. See, that's a tally like the red when that comes on.
Oh, you're on.
Oh, I see.
Which light is it here? Do you hit?
It start, stop.
Now, what if we had our teleprompter?
So you had it
put those
upside
up
down,
here,
so you
like
turn
right
the
there.
words.
I'm telling you, your computer.
Oh, okay.
is-
Okay.
It'll be difficult to do teleprompter.
So it's on now?
Bobby, come on.
Okay.